you know, the clarity and the strength and the vulnerability of her opening that, the way she sang it just gives you chills to this day when you hear it. Over that melancholy chord changes, it was really affecting. Like, I mean, it's riveting. You know what I mean? And then by the time that beat drops, it's like by the time the beat drops, it's epic.
Mm.
So that was all his vision as a producer and I remember Nikki and I had a friendly fire discussion when, because she switched the words around where she wanted to say it to come earlier in the chorus. I said, well, and I said, but why does it need to go there? She said, because women need men to say it. You know what I mean? And so it was a little bit of like a feminist, like, like I realized, oh, this is becoming like a women's anthem type thing. Like but that's beautiful. Like that's what you want in a song. Like as a
Mm.
songwriter, you want an artist to hear a song and own it, and
Mm.
feel like they can sing it from their own life experience, their own lived experiences. You want them to put their life, their belief, and their thing in it. You don't want somebody to sing it casually.
Mm.
Yes, as a songwriter, you may want them to honor the melody. You want if you've written the melody and the lyrics, you want them to hear it and sing it in a certain kind of, integrity. But you want them to breathe some fire
Mm.
into the interpretation of it. That's what's going to make it, like, I mean, this is something Burt Bacharach has talked about many times. Um, that like when Dion sang his melodies, that there are many people who recorded Burt Bacharach's catalog, but there
Mm.
was something about the way Dion owned it, the
Mm.
nuances of the writing that made it. She catapulted every intentionality that he had as a composer and Hal David had as a lyricist. She got it and understood it and owned it.
Mm.
Like I think I read that like I don't know, Alfie had been recorded like I don't know like 20 or 30 times before Dion did it, but hers became the signature. So
Mm.
that was one of those experiences where, like, when we got to the studio, Nikki was hearing something. She was breathing something into that vocal that was naked. And even the vocals, the background vocals were bigger than I thought. And the production was going to be way more epic in the arrangement. And I was just like, what the hell is but that thing came out and that thing just raced up the charts. And they were right. They had it was real collaboration where everybody had something they heard, something that they were advocating for, and it was beautiful, like friendly fire. And it's become this classic record. It
What
was
did
it
it
was
teach?
it was the top airplayed song of any song in 1990. It was the top airplayed recorded song of 1994 of an R&B airplay out of everything.
Wow. But
Yeah.
what did that teach you, that process going forward as a songwriter, then also as a producer?
Stand up for what you believe in, but be open. You know what I mean? Um, be open, to the magic of the moment. Have a
Mm.
perspective and advocate for what your perspective, but be open. Let the
Mm.
magic happen.
Yeah. I think, one of the things we had so many different girl groups in the 90s, but Brownstone stood out because unlike so In Vogue had their harmonies and soft harmonies with Dawn and the rest. But as you said, Brownstone, it was tall, strong women with big
Yes.
voices,
Yeah.
and you knew they could go soft, but when they would get ready to lift it up, it was very distinct and different.
From
And
Phyllis to Brownstone, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but it's also fascinating that Dave, um, and that, as I said, he doesn't get enough credit as a major R&B producer, of a producer at all,
Yeah.
because he's not in your videos and he's not singing and stuff,
Yeah.
and he's always in the
He keeps
background,
a very low,
low profile.
you
Yeah.
know, even when we worked together, I was at his house all the time working. Like Dave never went to like industry parties. He had his small crew and team of people, his assistant, his engineers. I bumped into some of the guys he worked with. One of his engineers, Paul, I hadn't seen him in years. He had a very small crew of people that stayed close to him, but he was never one for the spotlight, not one for the limelight. He was just kind of a music nerd, really genius, like, kind of guy who was really just into his music. That's just what he was into.
Yeah, yeah, still is. Still is
Yeah.
low pro. I've been trying to speak to Dave for the past 5 years, but he's low profile.
I celebrate him. Like when I do
Yeah.
interviews, Barry Eastman also very similarly, like he's never was one for the gloss and the floss, really more about the craft.
Mm.
There are certain people who are, you know, just like they say singers, there are certain people who are like writers, and there's certain people who's like producers. Like, and thank you for having me like on when you called me to do this. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that show. Like that show goes viral and like that, like the big dogs, like, and he wants me.
No, 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 no,
So
no.
I was like, because I think of myself as like a writer's writer. I don't think of myself as like, like, but so like I'm just really happy and proud to be here because I've watched your show and it's amazing.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I did miss you.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas Boys winning Oscars. Play it.
I mean, I love all different genres.